The Fremont Elkhorn and Missouri Valley Railroad was building up on the eastern slope of the Black Hills in the 1880s, and by 1886 it had arrived in Rapid City. But its goal, as was most of the railroad construction in those days, even the ones that were built and the ones that were speculated, was to get to Deadwood in the northern hills. In 1887, the Elkhorn extended its line about another 37 miles from Rapid City up to a point called Whitewood. Now, there was a lot of speculation where the Northern Hills terminal of the Elkhorn was going to be. There were folks that wanted it to be at Minnesota. There were folks that wanted it to be at Crook City. There were some folks that wanted it to be right at Sturgis and build the Elkhorn's line up through Boulder Canyon to Deadwood and Lead. Well, the Northwestern's subsidiary, the Elkhorn, had different ideas. And of course, as many folks can relate to, they were going to go where the ground was either given to them or was the cheapest. And they found a property out on the edge of the hills where they could build a depot, they could build their yards, they could build their coaling tower, water tower, and everything else. And it wasn't going to cost them as much as if the folks in Crook City would have charged them, or even up the way where the branch line was going to go out to where some of the cattle loading points were on the Belle Fourche River. And of course that was Minnesota. Well, then that's when Whitewood was created. And the railroad itself created Whitewood, and it was kind of in spite of the efforts of Crook City's residents as well as Minnesota's residents. And of course both of those towns ultimately dried up because they weren't a party to having the terminal of the Elkhorn Railroad placed in either of their communities. Whitewood became really kind of a neat terminal point for the Elkhorn, and of course it was a base of operations for when they built the line on into Deadwood in the early 1890s.